Hello, this is David Rosenblum from ASCE. I am recording a webinar for Higher Logic 101, the basic higher logic functions and functionality and screens that you'll be using for ASCE communities. Today, what we're going to learn is log in and view the Higher Logic page for your communities. So we'll talk about how we log in, what your login and password will be. View and learn how to update your profile in Higher Logic. It actually is connected to our AMS database, so you'll be able to get directly from Personify, which is our database of record, into your communities. And how to search the directory for people, location, or community type. Then how to upload documents to your community, and how to have discussions and collaborate on documents or discussions within your Higher Logic community. And Higher Logic Advanced, which will be another webinar that I'll be doing, that will be coming up soon. So first off, let's talk about the login. The first thing that you'll see is there will be a login on the main page of ASCE's website, but you'll also have a direct link that will take you into Higher Logic communities. You are going to see that when you log in, it will take you to ASCE's main login page. So this is called single sign-on. So when you are in Higher Logic communities, you will be able to navigate between ASCE's website and your communities very easily. So you could go from either place to get to your community. And once you are logged in, you will see this Higher Logic profile, communities, directory. You will see some of these. I am using the ASCE EWRI homepage currently because we don't have all the communities set up yet. But each section and branch will have their own community. There will be all of the people in that community, but then there will also be a section and branch officers community, which will be for only those people that are officers. That is one way that you can collaborate and work on documents or work on advertising for, say, a golf tournament or something like that, and then you can present it in your section and branch community. It's very easy to do that and work between those two. Everyone in the section and branch community, though, will not have access to the officers community. So on the main page, this is your profile, or this is my profile actually, and you will see that I am listed as Senior Project Manager. This information is coming from our database. However, you can link to your LinkedIn profile if you choose to do that. And basically, you can choose what information you'd like to share. So I will go into that when I actually start showing you the URL from the communities that we have, or the community for EWRI. When you go to update anything in your profile, though, because it is linked to ASCE's information, it's going to take you into ASCE if you're updating information directly from the profile. So for example, if I wanted to edit my contact information, that's going to take you to log into ASCE. Actually, you'll already be logged in using that login and password single sign-on. So once you do that, you will be able to go in and update your information in Personify, which will automatically be synced every evening to Higher Logic. So rather than have it go from Higher Logic into our database, you'll actually be doing everything in the database. So there's a lot of information here that you can put in here that we don't necessarily keep in our database as well. And this is how you would search for someone. You basically go into the tab that says directory. You will be able to search for anyone in your communities, and you can do it by all the fields that you see here. So if you wanted to see everyone that's in a certain city, of course, if you're looking for state, many of the sections and branches are by state, but they could be by region. If that person is not in your community, you will not be able to search by it. I think that's the way we have it originally set up. There will be a way at some point that you could probably search for every single person in the database. So this will be a directory of all ASCE members. And then this is a page for when you look at your communities, you'll see that there's a library. So in this test community that I created, you'll see that this is the library. You can create a new library entry. You can click on one of these one of the folders here, and that will open up the documents that are stored in that folder. So this folder structure is very similar to what you might have in eRooms currently. There's other things that you can do with this. The search function within here is much better. So if you're searching through for a specific document, it'll be easier to find that. So you may not need the folder structure, the detailed folder structure that you've been used to using. So on the discussions, you can go to a discussions page or tab here that you see on this page. Then you will see all the discussions that are going on. The first one that you see will be the most recent. But when you look at the main page of Higher Logic, it will usually have the top 3 discussions or the most recent discussions that have taken place in your community. So you can see it from the main page, and then if you wanted to dig deeper and drill down into the actual discussions and find something that you're looking for, then you can easily do that. Again, here's a search function where you can go in and look for a term, a keyword, a phrase that's in one of those discussions. So I've got a Q&A set up, but of course I'm re-recording this because the first time I did this, it was in a presentation mode. And now I'm going to switch over to showing you the actual screens in Higher Logic. So for example, this is the main page of EWRI's Collaborate. I am currently not logged in, so I want to show you that it's going to take us to ASCE's login site, which I already have it populated with my email address and password. And I just click on Sign In. Now, what I'm looking at is Welcome Charles, and that is my first name, so that is the thing that I'm logged in as, that's the profile. And this is their page, which looks very much like, of course, a web page, and you can set yours up to look similar to this. They have a lot more features that are offered, but let's go into the specific communities that I have access to. So if you click on Communities in this tab, and you say My Communities, you will get a list of, and this should be familiar from the screen that I just showed you, the different communities that I have access to currently. So if I go into our test community that I set up for this presentation, you can see that the test community has the recent activity, the discussions, the library, blogs, which we don't have any, and members. So if I wanted to look at discussions, for example, I can see that there's 2 discussions here. If I had more, we would be able to click on more and they would see more discussions, or if I just click on the tab, it takes you to that same page. So I noticed that I put in something, a test, 2 days ago. A month ago I put in, this is just a test message. Obviously this is just only be using for presentation. If you wanted to create a new post, you basically just click on this tab here and you can create a new post. This is going to allow you to post to this community and cross post to another community so that you have access to. For example, this might be one that the officers use where they build something in the officer community and then they cross post it once they've finished collaborating on it and working on the document to the entire section or branch. So I'm going to go back and show you the library function. In the library, you will see that you have the folders. You have the ability to open up this folder. Actually, the tab's already open for test community. Region 5 agendas and minutes. If I click on it, I can, actually double click on it, I open it, I can see the folder contents over here. This will expand if you have multiple documents in here. Currently, I just have a Word document for region 5 minutes, it actually opens this and allows me to download the file. When I download the file, you can actually save this file back to Higher Logic, and if you use the same name, it will ask you, do you want to have a version control? This C is 1. I actually have more versions of this. Well, I had more versions. I've probably deleted them at this point, but I had another version of this document. I'm not going to download it right now, but that's how you would use version control, by uploading the document again, but keep the exact same name. So let's go back to library, and to create a new library entry, I basically just have to give it a title, a description, select the library in which the library entry should be listed. So if I look at this, I have access to multiple. I'm seeing this currently because I am an administrator. You probably will only see the communities that you have access to. Select the type of library entry you want to create. So you can have a hyperlink, which would just be a link to a website. A standard file upload is what I usually use, webinar or YouTube video. And if you would like to change the library entry to be owned by someone else, you can enter their email address. I can also create a new folder, and we can call this test 2. I'm very original when I do these. Just hit enter, and I can open up this. You see there's there's nothing in this folder yet. So if I want to create folder content, I create new, and then I actually type in whatever it is that I want to create, and I say next, and it should actually take me to a way to, let's see, I think I have to give it something. I'll do a hyperlink and say next. And now I just have to put in and say next. And if I finish, I should be able to see that here's ASCE's website. If I go back to the library, I can now open up this, and I should see my ASCE library here. I mean, the ASCE website. Of course, it's going to take a while to load because ASCE's website might be a little slow today. So this has nothing to do with Higher Logic. It's just our website. So I'm going to close that, and I'll show you that there's no blogs here, but if the section and branch officers would like to create a blog and share with the sections regularly, or you can actually create you could put your newsletter in here as a blog if that's what you so desire. I'm not sure how you guys want to use it, but of course, this is an open area for you guys to use it however you see fit. And then we're just going to look at members. And here are all of the members that I have listed in, that I've given access to in my test environment. So if I were to look for someone else, let's see if Nancy Burson is in here. Nope, I don't have Nancy, so I could invite others to join and find people to invite. And so I see Nancy Burson is here. Add selected to the invited list and invite. Or I could have added her immediately. Join test committee, real-time digest. This is basically adding her in, and you can see a one mail for each message. So real time means that anytime anybody is in your community and posts something or changes something, you're going to see that immediately. You'll get an email telling you that that happens. If it's a very active community, I do not recommend doing that. Daily digest is one email containing all the posted messages. This is very similar to what we had in e-rooms. And then, of course, there's an opt-out of receiving email messages. And that would mean that you would just need to check periodically your community to see if anything has happened. I'm going to save this and close and hit finished. And once again, I'm doing this pretty quickly, but this is just to give you an example of what we can do, or what you'll be able to do in a higher logic community. So this is the basic tabs that you will have. You might notice that in the other communities that I have in EWRI, they have other features. However, we're going to roll this out in stages. We're going to give you these basic functions and features, and let's see how you guys want to use them, if we want to modify the structure a little bit, and then we'll start adding other features. There's an events tab that you can add where it's a calendar of events, and that will be coming soon, maybe once about a month or two after we get this rolled out and started. We'll add an events tab where you could actually drag and drop into that events area a PayPal account and that sort of thing, if that's what you're used to doing. There's a lot of ways that you can use this as far as connecting to your members, the discussions area, or sending a discussion to them. We'll send emails to every one of your members if you'd like. You can restrict it to certain members. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. So it's almost like having a listserv for your sections and branches. So let's go back. And that's pretty much it for the Higher Logic Basics course. I will, again, be sending you out another webinar message so that we'll be doing a more advanced, and probably we can do this periodically so that we can give out the advanced features. Once you're in your community, we can post those videos in the community so that you can share them with anyone. Okay, thank you very much. I think we've covered everything that we need to cover, and I hope you enjoy using Higher Logic.